Picture this. Alexandria, Egypt, July 4th, 2025. It's a quiet Friday morning, warm air, the smell of breakfast cooking. You can almost hear the family laughing inside. Then a knock shatters the peace. The door opens. A face that shouldn't mean danger, but somehow it does. A quick urgent chat, and then a man, Mahmoud, is pulled across the hall into a deserted, unfinished apartment.
And then you hear it, a sickening thud, screams, women rushing, trying desperately to intervene.
But it gets worse, the chilling sound of a knife. Again and again. Outside, neighbors hear the terror to try to break down the locked building door, but they're trapped, powerless. A life is just draining away inside.
It's utterly horrific.
So what happened here? Today, we're doing a deep dive into the shocking true story of Mahmoud Ashraf. His life and his incredibly tragic death became this awful testament to a really specific kind of poison, just overwhelming, irrational envy.
It's a chilling case. We're going to unpack how this unfolded, not just as a crime, but as this slow psychological descent.
Yeah, we'll look at Mahmoud, who sounds like a truly remarkable person, and the shadow, really, of his brother-in-law, Mohammed, known as Hamo.
Exactly. And we'll examine the hatred that consumed Hamo, how it went from this quiet resentment to brutal public murder. It really makes you ask, how does this kind of envy fester, often totally hidden even among family?
Okay, let's start at the beginning. To understand the end, we need to go back maybe over a decade and understand Mahmoud Ashraf.
Right. Who was he?
Well, by all accounts, a man of incredible strength, resilience, deep faith, too. He had this real acceptance of God's will, whatever happened, and ambitious. At 24, he started this business, exporting fruit to Italy. For 11 years, he just worked relentlessly, building a name, building trust.
That takes serious dedication, 11 years.
He does, and generous with it. Everyone said he was always helping people, especially with finding work. Just a supportive guy.
Okay.
Then he marries Nada, a respectful woman. They seem to have this great understanding. She accepted his travel. He'd go to Italy for long stretches for the business.
Yeah, right. That's part of the life he built.
Exactly. They seemed happy. They'd be in Italy, then come back to Alexandria for like 3-month breaks.
Oh, okay.
And whenever he came back, Mahmoud always brought gifts. For his family, for Nada's family, especially apparently for Hamu's kids. They adored him.
Ah, the gifts. This is where the contrast starts to get really sharp, isn't it?
Seems like it.
Because Mahmoud really embodies these qualities many people admire, right? Hard work, generosity, family values. But for someone else, someone maybe consumed by bitterness, those same qualities can actually fuel something much darker.
Which brings us to Hamo, Mohammed, Nada's sister's husband.
Yes, Hamo. He was an aluminum technician, had his own shop.
Okay, so a skilled trade. Potential there.
Huge potential. But he seemed to lack, well, ambition, responsibility too. People said he'd open his shop one day, then close it for 10. Didn't really focus on growing it.
And quick to blame others.
That's the pattern, yes. Blaming external factors for his own lack of progress. And you start seeing the jealousy early on, constantly comparing himself to Mahmoud.
How did that come out?
Well, apparently his wife, Wafanada's sister, would sometimes, probably innocently, point out how dedicated Mahmoud was, balancing this demanding job, traveling, yet still present for family, bringing gifts.
Contrasting it with Hamo just sitting around.
Exactly. And Hamo took that comparison very, very personally. It wasn't just about the money, it seems, but about the respect Mahmoud commanded, the life he'd built through sheer effort.
Okay, so the seeds are sown. Then things take a really dramatic turn. About a year and a half into his marriage, Mahmoud starts getting these awful headaches, low blood pressure, too.
Oh, wow, okay.
He goes to the doctor, tests, and the diagnosis is just devastating. Blood cancer.
Oh, my God.
And another blow comes with it. The doctor warns him that having children might be almost impossible.
That's just incredibly harsh cancer, and then that news on top of it.
Unbelievably harsh. But here's the thing about Mahmoud, his spirit. Despite the prognosis, the chemo, he just kept going. Managing his business, his family life, prioritizing everything. For 7 years, he lived like this.
7 years. That's remarkable resilience. Facing that kind of adversity with courage, continuing to function, even thrive professionally.
It really is.
But you see, for someone like Hamo, already simmering with resentment, Mahmoud's strength probably just intensified the envy. It's irrational, but it happens. Mahmoud wasn't just successful, he was successful despite suffering.
And did Hamo's behavior change during this time?
It seems it got worse. Wafa, Hamu's wife, apparently confided in her sister Nada, said Hamo was becoming abusive.
And she linked it to the jealousy.
Directly. She said it was his intense jealousy of Mahmoud's wealth, his lifestyle, everything. Hamo even developed this fixation, this really twisted desire to travel illegally abroad. He thought that would somehow make him like Mahmoud.
Wow. Missing the point entirely.
Completely. Wafa refused, obviously. It was dangerous, unrealistic, and his response, reportedly, physical abuse.
That's awful.
And Hamo completely misinterpreted things. He thought Wafa was just comparing their stuff, their material lives. He couldn't see that maybe she admired Mahmoud's character, his drive, his responsibility, despite being seriously ill.
How did Mahmoud react when he heard about this bitterness?
Well, this is classic Mahmoud, it seems. He heard about it, but instead of anger, he felt compassion. He apparently thought Hamo was just struggling financially.
He tried to help.
Yeah, he offered genuine business advice.
Yeah.
Suggested Hamo hire some people, expand the workshop, practical steps.
And Hamu's reaction?
Fury, absolute rage. He felt exposed. Like, Mahmoud now knew about his fights with Wafa, his failures.
So instead of gratitude,
he went home and beat Wafa again, so badly this time that she left him.
Unbelievable. This envy is just spiraling. It hit another low point, didn't it? At a family dinner.
Yes, a dinner where Wafa and her mother were trying to reconcile with Hamo, a really tense situation. Hamo just showed this incredibly petty spite. He refused to wait for Mahmoud, who was maybe running a little late, to start eating. Demanded his food immediately.
Just trying to assert himself somehow.
Exactly. A clumsy, mean-spirited attempt, but it backfired. It just highlighted his own isolation. He could probably feel it. His wife, his mother-in-law, even his own son. They respected Mahmoud more.
That must have fueled the fire.
Hugely. And then came the turning point, according to the accounts. Hamo saw his own son copying Mahmoud, imitating how he talked, how he dressed.
Oh, no.
And that's when the envy apparently curdled into something else, a desire for actual revenge. He started seeing Mahmoud as this invader in his life, stealing the respect of his family, even the admiration of his own child.
That's a really dark turn.
It shows how envy can warp perception entirely. Admiration becomes an attack. Success becomes a personal slight.
Okay, so after 7 incredibly long years battling cancer,
Yeah.
a miracle happens for Mahmoud.
Finally, some good news.
His health stabilizes enough for a bone marrow transplant. His father's a match. The operation, a complete success.
Wow. That's fantastic.
He's cured, free from the cancer.
Yeah.
And the celebration, as you can imagine, was huge. Mahmoud's family, Nada's family, everyone just rejoicing. Pure relief, pure joy.
A moment of just universal happiness for him.
Except for one person.
Hamo.
Yeah. While everyone else is celebrating, Hamo is just watching with this palpable hatred, silently wishing Mahmoud had actually died from the illness.
It's chilling, isn't it? It really underscores the irrationality. Mahmoud overcomes this life-threatening disease, a moment that should evoke empathy, maybe even admiration. But for Hamo, it's just another reason to hate.
What does that say about someone's inner state?
It speaks to a profound darkness, an inability to feel any joy for others, to acknowledge their struggles, or even just grant them their happiness. His envy was so consuming that even survival felt like an affront.
And then the ultimate blessing for Mahmoud and Nada, months later.
Don't tell me.
Nada gets pregnant.
Oh, wow. After being told it might be impossible.
Exactly. They welcome a daughter, Ghazal. Mahmoud's joy is just immense. He's working even harder now, totally dedicated to securing her future.
That's beautiful. A real new chapter for them.
Meanwhile, what's happening with Hamo?
Still fighting with Wafa. Still obsessed with traveling illegally. The violence reportedly just kept escalating.
So the contrast just grows sharper and sharper. Mahmoud finds joy and purpose. Hamo sinks deeper into resentment and violence.
Precisely.
Okay, let's move to the events leading right up to the murder. July 3rd, the day before.
Right. The final steps.
Wafa, apparently fleeing Hamo's abuse again, goes to Nada's place for comfort. Nada, being kind, suggests they all move from her mother's house to Mahmoud and Nada's apartment in Alexandria, just for a change of scene,
A kind gesture.
And Mahmoud, of course, agrees, invites Nada's mother to stay too. And then, incredibly, he extends the invitation to Hamo as well.
Even after everything. Wow. Mahmoud's generosity, or maybe naivety, it's consistent.
Hamo says yes, tells Mahmoud he'll follow them later. But then he starts calling, repeatedly. Checking Mahmoud is definitely going to the apartment, making sure they've arrived. Then he calls again. And this time, he specifically asks Mahmoud to be home after Friday prayers the next day, July 4th, for breakfast. at the apartment.
Rejecting the idea of meeting elsewhere.
Yeah, Mohammed suggested meeting outside, but Hamo insisted it had to be there at that time.
That is incredibly chilling. The repeated calls, the insistence on the location and time, it screams premeditation.
It wasn't spontaneous?
Not at all. It feels like a trap being meticulously set, ensuring the victim is exactly where the perpetrator needs him to be. Calculated.
So Friday morning, July 4th, 2025. Mahmoud goes to prayers. Nada and her mother are making breakfast back at the apartment. He comes home, they're eating together. That peaceful family scene from the beginning.
And then the knock.
The knock. It's Hamo. Mahmoud invites him in for breakfast, but Hamo refuses. He pulls Mahmoud out and says he wants a private word.
Pulls out. Okay.
Across the hall into that semi-abandoned, unfinished apartment. Empty, dusty.
And Mahmoud goes.
He goes. Inside, Mahmoud, still trying to connect, asks Hamo about his life, his work.
Even then.
Hamo just complains. Wants to travel, shops closed, wife's demands.
Yeah.
The usual. And Mahmoud, trying to be kind, reassures him. Tells him his wife loves him, she's there for him.
Trying to offer comfort, maybe bridge the gap.
And then it happens. Without warning, Hamo grabs a loose brick from the floor.
Oh, God.
He hits Mahmoud. Twice. On the head. Mahmoud collapses, bleeding heavily. His last words. Just pure confusion and hurt. Why, Hamo? What did I do?
What did I do? Not anger, just bewilderment. That says so much about Mahmoud and everything about Hamo's utter depravity. The shift from talk to sudden, brutal violence, textbook explosion of repressed rage, but planned rage.
The women hear the noise. Nada, her mother, Wafa.
No.
They rush out. They see Mahmoud bleeding. They struggle with Hamo, trying to pull him off.
Chaos, panic.
Neighbors come running. They try to get Mahmoud away, get him to safety. They manage to get him at the elevator. One neighbor runs off to get a car, frantic, trying to get him to a hospital.
A desperate attempt to save him.
But Hamo, the horror wasn't over. This is where his calculated malice just goes to another level.
What did he do?
He breaks free from the women, races downstairs, retrieves a knife he'd hidden earlier.
Hidden, premeditated.
And then he locks the main building door from the inside, trapping everyone, the neighbors, the women, Mahmoud, in the elevator.
Locking them in. Oh, my God.
Then he charges back up to the elevator, finds Mahmoud there, helpless, and attacks him with the knife. A frenzy. 16 times. Just pure unadulterated malice and hatred. You can only imagine the screams, the terror, the helplessness of those trapped neighbors.
16 times. He wasn't just killing him, he was obliterating him, driven by that poisonous envy.
Laughter. After making sure Mahmoud was dead, he just calmly turns to the shocked, terrified neighbors and says, "Go call the police. I am relieved and I got my right."
I got my right. That phrase, it's terrifying. It perfectly captures the warped justification of the truly envious mind. He didn't see it as murder. He saw it as correcting some cosmic injustice he perceived. Mahmoud's success, his happiness, his very existence felt like something stolen from him.
So his explanation to the police later, that Mahmoud interfered too much.
A pathetic excuse. A weak attempt to rationalize something born from pure, irrational hatred. He couldn't even properly articulate the envy that drove him. It wasn't about interference. It was about his own deep-seated feelings of inadequacy being constantly inflamed by Mahmoud's life.
It's just such an impactful story, Mahmoud Ashraf's life. It forces you to confront these really dark parts of human nature, envy's power to twist reality, to fuel violence, even from family.
Absolutely. He lived with such grace, generosity, resilience, even through immense struggle. He seemed to embody so much good.
And tragically, that very goodness became the target for someone consumed by bitterness.
And what we really take away from this, I think, is a stark reminder. Sometimes the biggest threats aren't loud conflicts. They're the quiet, festering resentments simmering right next to us.
Hidden in plain sight.
Exactly. This wasn't really about Mahmoud interfering. It was about Hamo's complete inability to see Mahmoud's success, his kindness, even his dignity through illness, as anything other than a personal attack. It makes you wonder, how well do we really know the people around us?
Can we ever spot those hidden seeds of malice before they bloom?
It's a difficult question. And it highlights the devastating consequences when someone's internal struggles are projected outwards with such destructive force.
A truly heartbreaking deep dive. It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? What's the real cost of envy when it goes unchecked? Not just for the victim, but for the person eaten up by it. And how can it blind someone so totally that they celebrate death, calling it their right? It's a chilling question that lingers long after hearing about Mahmoud Ashraf's final moments.